There was a clever and greedy landlord who owned most of the land in a village. Whenever someone needed money, he would lend them small amounts, but he was dishonest. He would secretly add high interest to the loans. Because most people in the village were not educated, they couldn't understand what was happening. Over time, they couldn't repay the loans, and the landlord would take their land. The landlord's next target was an old woman who lived alone near his house. She had a small piece of land where she grew her crops to survive. The landlord wanted her land but couldn't figure out how to trick her into giving it up. So, he bribed a government official and created fake ownership papers, claiming the land was his. One day, the landlord and the official went to the old woman with these fake papers and told her she must leave her land because it now belonged to him. The old woman was shocked and begged them to understand. She explained that she had lived there all her life, and the land was inherited from her ancestors. She said it was precious to her because her family was buried there. Desperate for justice, she went to the local court, but the landlord had bribed everyone there too, and the court ruled in his favor. The old woman had no choice but to leave her land. Heartbroken, she packed her belongings while the landlord stood nearby, waiting for her to go. Before leaving, the old woman approached the landlord with tears in her eyes. She said, "Sir, you have taken everything from me, my home, my memories, my life. But I have one last request. I love this land deeply because I grew up here. Please allow me to take just a basket of soil with me so I can feel its presence even after I leave." The landlord laughed and said, "You can take a basket of soil. It doesn't matter to me." The old woman filled her basket with soil, but she made it so full that she struggled to lift it. She then turned to the landlord and asked, "Sir, can you help me put this basket on my head?" The landlord walked over, and as he tried to lift the basket, he said, "Old lady, this basket is too heavy. How will you carry it if you can't even lift it?" The old woman, still crying, replied, "Sir, this is just one basket of soil from my land, and I can't even carry it. I've lived here all my life, but I can't take even this much with me. You, sir, have stolen so much land from others. How will you carry all of it with you when you die?" Hearing this, the landlord was shocked. Her words struck him deeply. He realized his greed and wrongdoing. Falling at her feet, he begged for her forgiveness. He returned her land and promised never to cheat anyone again. Moral: do not be greedy or cheat others. Be content with what you have. True happiness comes from living honestly and fairly.